So this is our 1990 Toyota pickup that we built as our little adventure mobile. We traveled from Canada all the way down through Central America and South America and back across Canada. And we're looking to expand those adventures when we're able to do so. And right now we're in the middle of that build. For work, we do a lot of writing, a lot of photography, and to do so it requires a significant amount of power to charge our computers and camera batteries and so on. So today, we're going to install a couple of Samlex 100-watt solar panel kits. Much of our time traveling will be spent off-grid. So having a couple different ways to charge your house batteries is key. One of those ways is via the starting battery and alternator of the truck. So anytime the truck is running, the alternator will be charging not only the starting battery, but also the house batteries. But for those times when we're staying in one place for extended periods of time, we need another way to charge our house batteries, and that is solar. Samlex offers complete solar kits that include a solar panel as well as a charge controller. But since we already have a charge controller that's in the truck, we're going to utilize that for this install. How did we size this? We made some assumptions, and we took some experience from our past and put those together to come up with the system you see here. We started by calculating our expected electrical usage in amp hours per day, which is about 70 amp hours. We converted this into a watt hour, assumed 6 hours of sunlight per day, and then we added a safety factor of 20%. From this, we calculated we need about 170 watts of solar panel array. Since the solar panels that fit on our roof came in 100 watts, we rounded up to 200 total, but it's good to know that these are big assumptions for many reasons. Depending on what the ambient temperature is, it can make different electrical loads in the truck work harder or not at all. A good example is a fridge. So if it's cold, if it's freezing outside, that fridge doesn't have to work at all, and therefore doesn't draw any power. Whereas our heater, which is a diesel heater but is powered by an electrical fan, would have to work significantly harder than it would if it was 20 degrees Celsius out. Plus, we never know how much sun we're going to get per day. So out here in the Rockies, we know we're going to get quite a bit of sun compared to on the West Coast, where it could be cloudy and drizzly more often. But we're planning on a round-the-world trip and really have no idea what to expect at any given time. So it may be prudent to increase the size of your battery bank or your solar panel array. So we left physical space just in case to add a solar panel to the roof or an extra battery to our battery bank. We also increased the size of the battery cables in our system, so we can increase the size of our battery bank or solar array in the future without having to rewire. As I said, we made some assumptions, but we also are using a little bit of our experience from the past to size the system. 7 years ago, I installed my very first solar panel charging kit, and it was actually a Samlex 85-watt kit. I had no idea what I was doing, and it was the first time I'd installed any solar or really any electrical system in a truck before. But the best part was, I did it the day before we went on a trip, and 2 years later, it was still working great. So what we learned from that little system with the 55 amp hour battery being charged by the 85-watt solar panel was that it was enough to indefinitely power a 35-liter fridge, some LED lights at night, and a 1,000-watt inverter that we use to charge our cameras and our laptops. On this next trip, we expect to be doing a little bit more work, and that means more time on the computers and more time charging camera batteries. So knowing that, we decided to increase our battery bank size and our solar panel size in order to never have to worry about our electrical needs. We're connecting these 200-watt solar panels to a pair of 85 amp hour Full River AGM batteries. And we're doing that via our Redarc BCDC 1225D charge controller. So installation of the solar panels is pretty straightforward, but you do have to read the instruction manual. Do it. This is actually the French side. There is an English side. In the Samlex kit, you get universal brackets as well as some weld nuts, bolts, ring terminals, and so on in order to complete all of the installation. But in our case, we're actually going to mount them to an integrated system of the Go Fast Camper. The Go Fast Camper has beef racks installed as well as solar panel trays. So for our installation, we just have to mount the solar panels in the solar panel trays and bolt those to the beef racks. So the next step is to use the SBC2 branch connectors to connect the two solar panels in parallel. Once the two panels are wired together in parallel, you'll take those two wires, the positive and negative, and run them into the camper. One last thing to do here, just have to connect the positive lead from the solar panels to the Redarc charge controller and crimp it, heat shrink it, and we are done. Okay, it is time to park this thing in the sun and see what kind of power we make. It is December and the sun is really low on the horizon. Obviously, we're helping get some additional efficiencies because the camper has a nice little angle to it when it's up. But since the solar panels are not perpendicular to the sun, they're not as efficient as they could be. Regardless, these 200 watt panels are putting out 123 watts right now. So wherever we are in the world, whether we're on the road or off grid in the middle of nowhere, we're going to be able to keep our auxiliary batteries charged and keep all of our electronics devices charged as well and ready to go.